Hi, amigas.
Hi, amigos.
So we're back.
We're back, and the audio is 100% on point this time.
I know we've been lagging with the audio, and oh my god, amiga, we missed a week.
We missed a week. I hope you guys missed us. Even we need a little mental break from time to time again.
We needed time to recover from Valentine's Day, though.
Valentine's Day was that your Valentine's Day crazy? Is that what you're trying to hint at the amigas and amigos?
No, it was hecka low key. I don't even know, it was just, I don't know. We were out of town.
Okay.
So we had gone to my in-laws. And they live like 3 hours away from us. And so we came back that Sunday. So it was like, I was tired.
Sunday on Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
okay.
So we were tired, but we still, everybody got their little cards and their gifts.
That's
and
cute.
Giovanni hooked it up with like a brand new little coffee machine.
He did. And if you guys follow us on Instagram, he even got you these beautiful roses. I mean, I'm not a flower girl, but they're nice. They were really nice.
That was a surprise because, I was not expecting it. It got here a day earlier, right? It was Friday. And the box comes and I'm over there working at my new job.
New J-A-B.
J-A-B?
Yeah, it's from Medea. It's a Medea reference. If y'all know, you know.
I don't even remember that. But the box came, right? And Giovanni brings it in. And he's like, ooh, who's sending you gifts? Is one of your Sanity session admirers?
Oh, okay.
Who's sending you roses? Let me find out it's one of these little guys trying to hit at you. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I saw his gift.
Come on, nobody has my address.
Oh my
God. He opens it. He's the one opening the box. I'm like, let me open it. So I'm opening the box and then I see the little card in there and it's from him. I'm like, dude, you play too much.
That's sweet. Yeah, I saw, we posted it on the Instagram. At first I was like, is this a fake picture? But it was legit. They're on your counter. I was like, okay.
They're still out there. They're flourishing.
Yeah, they're really nice, amiga. So what did you give your kids? I know last time you said that you like to include them. So
yeah,
what did you...
what did they get? Now I forgot. Girl, it's been a week.
It's been a while, right?
I forgot what they got, but they woke up and they had their little bags sitting there on the counter with their cards and we wrote in them and everything. And then, for Giovanni, I got him this bag full of his snacks because he already knew what was coming. So it was keto snacks and non-keto snacks.
Okay, was that your cheat date?
Because it was a cheat weekend. It was a 3-day cheat weekend.
Nice.
So, so your girl gained some weight. But it was worth it.
Yeah, it was good. I know Valentine's Day seems so long ago.
It really does.
Abby and I were talking did we even do what we said we were gonna do for Valentine's?
No, you kind of did, right? Because you went to San Diego.
So we kind of last minute went to San Diego. We have family out there, and we actually got there Saturday morning, and it was super last minute. We ended up doing a little barbecue on it's a bay. I think it's called Mission Bay, and we ended up doing a bonfire there.
Girl, looked cold in your picture.
It was cold.
I would be freezing.
Yeah, Loki had his little sweater. Loki's my dog, and we were all bundled up. Even the kids were there. But on Sunday, girl, it was Valentine's Day. And I told you, we took my dog, but he's not trained. So we didn't even plan anything on that day because we were super limited. Because people in San Diego, they're legit about the training on their dogs. Loki is a bad kid, dog.
I think that even dogs are not even on leashes and they're just todos siguiéndolos.
We even thought about, my sister had looked up a restaurant that's dog friendly. I guess they even have a water bowl for your dog while you dine. I was telling her look, sister, Loki is not trained for us to do something like that.
Yeah, it's cute, but they're going to kick us out.
I was like, no, girl, we're going to get banned from San Diego with this dog. So we didn't. We just stayed at my aunt's house on Sunday, and then we traveled back that day. So we didn't do much. We were just on the road, basically. And then Carlos the next day, because homie, I don't know if he forgot. I think he forgot, guys. So it was Valentine's Day. But then the next day, he got me flowers and chocolates. And he's like, I got him 50% off. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm like, as you should.
So it was a day late. What do you say, some coin?
We like a man who saves money. I'm just kidding.
But isn't he the spender in your guys' relationship?
Yeah.
Pero on Valentine's Day, he's a saver.
I'm like, you're hella fake, dude. I'm just kidding. But it's funny because, as you guys know, I'm not really a flower girl. So I was like, homie, I guess I'll take these roses.
He didn't go get the sweater.
He didn't give me the sweater, but I got him like 2 shirts that he had been hinting about, because women pay attention to like those stuff, right?
We always do, yeah.
He was like, I've been wanting this. I'm like, I know. I listen. I'm like, I hear you when you like hint stuff. And then I got him these 2 sweaters too, but they didn't fit him because the arms were too short. But that was it. Like, it was like a super low key Valentine's Day. Like I said, we were on the road for like most of the day driving back home.
But it sounds like you guys had like almost like a Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a little trip, a little family weekend with my dog too.
That's cute. Oh my gosh. So, you know how I mentioned that we went to my in-laws for, one of our nephew's birthday, and it was a lot of fun. The cake was bomb. It was like an ice cream cake. So that's what determined we were going to have a cheat day weekend. But, that morning, like, I don't know, I was downstairs chatting, with my mother-in-law, and all of a sudden, like, I hear commotion coming from upstairs.
Wait, was it quiet before this happened?
Yes, it was quiet.
That's suspicious.
And then, like, then I heard my father-in-law calling for Giovanni, like, Giovanni, you need to come up here. And so then Giovanni runs up there, and then I hear him like yelling and going off on the kids. And I was like, so of course me and my mother-in-law, like we go check out like what's happening. Like I took my time because I was like, look, I'm having my cafe. Like if it's a disaster, let me just enjoy this for like 1 minute.
Before you go on full on mommy mode.
So I go up there. Oh my God. I don't know how they got a hold of some Desitin cream, and that cream is like heavy, And they got it, and so it was my twins.
I was like, when you say they, who was it?
It was my twins. It was, my...
Say their names. I'm just kidding.
Carolina and Jonathan. And they, I guess, covered their hands with the diaper cream. And they, like, covered their, like, brown chairs that were up there. Like, at least they're leather, but oh my God. Like, covered. Like, completely covered 2 chairs. And I'm like, Gabriel, because he was up there like playing video games on the computer.
Oh, he was occupied. Leave him alone.
Like, how did you not realize what they were doing? Like they literally did it on the chair you were sitting on. And so it wasn't even like they didn't stop there. They kept putting more cream and they put it on the walls.
Oh my gosh.
Like on the walls. And my father-in-law was like, oh, I came up here and they were just adding more and then just like they're painting. And I was like,
girl.
Oh my God.
Who had to clean it up?
Oh my God. So Giovanni and his dad were over there with like the rag trying to like clean it, and Giovanni like got it off the chair. But dude, we're gonna have to pay for them to paint their walls because that stuff did not come off.
It didn't come off?
It doesn't come off. It's like pure oil. Like I don't know what it is, but yeah, it didn't come
the
off.
grandparents always say they love their their grandchildren.
Well, I was laughing because my mother
I think you're forgiven.
They thought they were like Picasso, like
she's
painters.
all about it.
And then she's all taking pictures, and then she's like, Johnny, show me your hands and take a picture next to the chair. I was
your
like,
mother-in-law
girl.
is cool. I know, it's funny because when my niece and my nephew do bad things like at my parents' house, like they let them get away with everything, right? But if you did that when you were their age,
kid, we would have got spanked or something.
Yeah. So it's funny I guess eventually you'll look back and you'll laugh at it, right? But who was supposed to be watching the kids? Who is at fault here?
Yeah, I
don't say no names.
It's obviously the parents. You know what I mean? It's obviously us, the parents, and I think I was helping my mother-in-law with her tree. Like she was trying to take down her tree.
Wait, the Christmas tree?
Yeah, because it was still
okay. No judgment.
It's Christmas all year round for us. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so anyway, we got distracted. They were quiet, and that's what happened.
Okay, look at these. Producer, please insert a picture of the twins.
Took pictures, so we'll have to like insert it into the YouTube video.
Yeah, that'll be cute to see. So, Amiga, what have you been up to? I know you've had some change recently.
Yes. So your girl started her new job.
Yes. How has it been? Tell us.
Okay, so it's been 2 weeks, right? So it's been
felt like an eternity for me.
I know. The very first week though, like I was literally sitting there like, hello, can you guys give me access so I can do stuff? And like, I kid you not, like a lot of the girls like didn't want to train, like because they're still busy. It was a payroll week for them, and so like they didn't have time to train. They didn't want to let me like just shadow them, just watch them work or whatever. So oh my gosh, I was just getting so frustrated, but I was like, look, they're paying me just to sit here. So
that's true.
Fine.
That's
true. This past week, I finally have my access, and girl, they are taking advantage.
Good. I mean, I don't think it's taking advantage. I think you're able to show, like, you know, I
love systems, and you know that. I love to do systems. I always love, you know, working with numbers and calculations. And so, like, I got my first report request, but can we talk about the director and... her freaking typos and every message, and like it's like I have to get used to it, you know. And she asked me for a report, and in the email I'm like, girl, I don't know what she's asking me. Like it sounds like she's
her on the side. Yeah, like I just want to confirm it's this.
So I email back and I'm like, hey, so can you clarify? And then I'm like, look, I'm just gonna work on the report. I assume this is what she meant, and because I kid you not, every message has a typo, and I'm like, I don't get it.
I wonder if anybody's called her out on it. Obviously not, right? Because she hasn't done it.
Because we had a meeting like yesterday. Like we have daily meetings with the team, and I mean it's a pretty big team. It's like what, 7 or 8 people on that team, so it's a big team. We get on a call and I mentioned it like, hey, you know, I finished this report for her, but I don't know, you know, if this is what she was looking for because I'm not familiar with your guys' stock payrolls and all that. And they were like, oh, that's typical. You'll get used to it. You'll learn. She's like, you'll work hard and do it. And then she'll come back and she has a million things that you can improve. And then you'll provide it. And then she wants more stuff from you. Oh,
wow.
And I was like, oh, great. You know, and I was like, yeah, I didn't really understand what she was asking me, but I assumed this. She's like, oh, yeah, that's what she wants. And then, oh, my God. Anyway, like I finished the report and I sent it over to her. I haven't heard from her, but I guess like she had some drama.
Honestly, the stuff that you've told me, because our previous job, really, there was no drama, right?
I swear we live for like the cattiness, the fighting.
When Abby shared like the first week, I was like, oh my gosh, it sounds like a novela over there. I love it.
And I'm just a new person. Like I literally just sit there and I'm listening. You know, I'm just there to like observe, and I'm trying to get a feel for everybody's personality and everything. So I'm just trying to like fit in with the team. I'm just right now, like, you guys see me. I love to joke. I'm always happy and always like talkative, but I need to like, I'm really toned down right now because I don't know how they're going to take the real me. You know what I mean? So
I think that they'll be receptive to it. Hopefully, if not, you can always come back. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but like aside from starting a whole freaking new job, you know, Giovanni, he is going to start a new job. I mean, talk about timing, dude.
The producer's leveling up, you guys. We want to congratulate only him and Abby on their new career. We're excited for him. We're actually going to celebrate today on behalf of them. We just need an excuse to like.
We just need an excuse to eat. But yeah, Giovanni, producer Gio, he got a new job. Do you want to tell him about it, babe, or what?
You can't call him babe on the podcast.
Oh, I can't.
I'm just kidding.
Is that
HR's gonna come for you. Producer, do you want to weigh in on your new job?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be an IT manager now.
Ooh. I want to show up to his job on the first day. Can I speak to the IT manager, please?
With your Karen haircut. You're gonna have to put up your hair some way, because
that's exciting, though. I'm so happy for him.
Did you hear the Giovanni flexing IT manager?
I know. He had to throw that in. I'm like super happy for him, though. It's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity. And like we've said before, LinkedIn, you guys, if you don't have a LinkedIn or if it's not updated, I'm telling you, it's the #1 resource for recruiters. And that's exactly how it happened.
I'm like, oh, she's talking to me because my LinkedIn is not updated. I'm going to put my newest job or hobby, Sanity Sessions, on my LinkedIn when I update it. But yeah, you said that they reached out to Gio, right?
Yeah, they reached out to him on LinkedIn, and I remember he like brought it up to me, and I was like, why not talk to them? Just talk to them, you know?
It doesn't hurt.
Just listen to what they have, what it is. And I remember him telling me the recruiter really likes him because he's not that IT guy that's like antisocial, you know?
Yeah.
Awkward, hates talking to people. Like, he's really personable. Like,
he really
if you
is.
meet him, he's funny. He's very, like, you know, comedic, and he laughs and he engages and all that. And so, like, right off the bat, like, he stood out because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I laugh because I'm like, you know, I know him. I know he likes to
That's true. IT guys do have like a certain stereotype, and I wouldn't know. Well, besides him setting up all of this stuff like for us, I wouldn't know he'd be in IT. Right?
I didn't either.
Yeah.
So when we got married, I didn't know that either, because my assumption was, you know, don't get offended, but IT guys are a little bit nerdy, a little bit awkward. You could tell, like, in the personality. So him, like, finding out and seeing how much he loves technology and all that, I was like, ooh, okay. But yeah, and another thing that, like, really impressed them was not just him in the meetings, you know, in the interviews and stuff, but his thank you letters. And I've always told them, like, thank you letters, no matter how old-fashioned you think it is, I mean, they make a difference. And I remember watching a video saying only like 25% of applicants will send thank you letters. So right away, if you send one, it
now
stands out.
Because I don't think I've wrote a thank you letter in a long time, ever since I was in college. Because even then, they would say like write thank you letters, but now you can email them, right? I think I've seen you email like a
email.
thank you letter.
It's a thank you email, really.
Oh, okay, I think.
But I remember the last email he sent, like after he talked with the CFO, which is going to be his boss and everything. Like, he was like, Abby, you know, I'm not like a career guru or anything, but your girl has a touch. I'm just kidding. But
Holla at Abby for any career advice.
But he showed me the letter, and I was like, Giovanni, you know, I'm like a grammar, like, format, like, freak.
Stickler. That's why it bothers you from the emails.
I'm like, Giovanni, no, you should say this. No, Giovanni, cut this out, put this. And oh, no, put this here. You should say this first. And then, like, I just, you know, I went to town on formatting his little thank you letter. And oh my gosh, like, they sent the thank you letters to the recruiter. Because he didn't copy them, but he was like, you know, I saw I'm not flexing for him, but I saw your, you know, thank you letter. That was probably one of the best ones I've seen, right?
That's what probably made him stand out, even if there was other candidates for that position, right, that they were considering. Yeah,
I think there was like one other person that they were seriously considering. But I'm like, dude, that thank you letter, you're welcome, babe. You're welcome. Oh, you're welcome, producer. Just kidding.
Girl, you know you wrote that thank you letter.
I almost put thank you, Abby.
Just kidding. Kind regards, comma, Abby. And Gio. But mainly Abby.
Just kidding.
The Ramirez family.
So exciting. He's going to start in a couple weeks, and I'm just like so happy. I think it's such a blessing. We're growing together, you know? You guys heard we got married young, and we've grown together, and we've, you know, just, I don't know, we've become these people that are just like going after their dreams and making it happen. And
you guys are definitely very admirable. Like, even just your dynamic duo, you know? And do we dare say that you inspired Giovanni? I think you guys both inspire each other, and that's good. That's important.
And I think what it is that we support each other. Right. Like, you know, I'm like, I remember when I was going through the interview process, he's like, babe, like, that's amazing. Like, you sounded so good. You know, how did it go? And I'm sure they're going to like you because you're so good at what you do.
Right.
Like, and then it's the same for him. I'm like, they know, like, you have a great personality. Like, I can hear him. Like, I would ear hustle, like, in the interviews to see how it's going.
And you need that from your partner. You really do. Or even if you don't have a partner, just like your family.
Lift them up, you guys.
Yeah.
Because they need that. They need that, like, that support, that you believe in them. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, because if somebody believes in you, then you kind of, even if you have some doubts, right, then you start believing in yourself even more, or even if you didn't have any faith in yourself. But yeah, no, that's good. I'm really excited, even though, like, I miss you at work.
Oh my God. Can we talk about how much you miss me?
Y'all tell me, girl. Honestly, I'm like, if you ask me what I've been up to lately, it's just been like work since like Abby left. I've took on like some of your duties. And
what do you mean some? You took up all my duties?
I'm trying to humble myself.
No, girl, tell it like it is.
Yeah, so I did take on Abby's duties, and in transition of like training somebody else who, you know, it's been frustrating because, you know.
I know, because I trained this person for 2 weeks before I left.
Girl.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I've been waking up a lot earlier because this person is on the East Coast. So it's like a timing difference, right? So in order for us to like get together and train early and meet deadlines, your girl has been waking up super early, like earlier than.
I'm like, who are you?
I don't even know who I am. I'm drinking more coffee. Let me just say, like, this person has been really testing my patience because she's not really. I'm just kidding. She's not really tech savvy, as you know. So yeah, it's been a struggle ever since Abby left. But honestly, taking on some of your duties, as we talked earlier, I feel a lot more confident with like some of the payroll stuff.
And I've told you, I'm like, girl, you got it. Like,
let me flip my hair.
When I started training Leti to, be my backup and everything, like I knew it. And even like our other coworker, one of our favorite coworkers.
I'm like, don't shout him out yet. He doesn't deserve
it. But even he was like, Leti is really good. She's really smart. She's quick and she's doing a good job. And I remember always telling like our boss, like, yeah, no, Leti does a good job. Like, if you guys don't find the right person, you guys need to know that Leti has it. Like,
thanks, amiga. You're a real one. Honestly, you really are. But no, Abby's been like a good little, even like when she gives you guys tips on like career advice, like I jot these notes down because she has a lot of good advice for like even careers, like, I mean, anything. But yeah, it's been a struggle without you. But I am really happy that you're at a place where, I know you wanted to work with this company for a while and I'm really happy for you. But I do miss you.
And I think you're growing though. I think you're growing, at least payroll wise. You doing calculations and all that is like,
I was telling Abby, I was like, dude, after I calculated this retro for like the company, I'm like, I feel like a bad bitch. Like, I'm all, make me the CEO of the company already. I'm ready. I'm just kidding. Actually, maybe not the CEO, maybe the CFO. I'm just kidding.
The one that works with numbers.
Yeah, but no, I've been struggling with this person at work. But honestly, like you said, like it's honestly pushed me to like be like more of like a leadership role. And of course, still remembering that like I try to have like some patience for this person who, we're training because she is older. And, I always think of like my parents, like somebody teaching my parents because they're not super tech savvy.
They're not always the quickest.
Yeah. So I've been trying to be patient, but it's still a little frustrating, but you are very much missed, Amiga.
Oh, I miss you too. It's so weird. Like logging on and not being able to message you and like seeing you on meetings because that's when I would see you.
Yeah.
So I've been having to like FaceTime her.
Yeah. And where we work, we use Microsoft Teams and then it shows like you're out of office right now, right? And then once somebody leaves, you're supposed to remove them off of your group. Girl, I don't think I'm ever going to remove you.
I want to stay there.
I'm like, oh, Abby's just out of office. She's on vacation, a very long vacation right now.
Oh my God, that's funny. But yeah, I have been struggling getting used to Mac.
Yeah, I saw you flexing. I was telling Gio, I was like, mira la Abby ya se cree with her MacBook Pro.
But I mean, it's a struggle. And everybody like on the team talks about, how frustrating it is that the software that we use, it's really not compatible with Mac. So everyone's going to probably have to switch to a PC. And I'm like, but wait, like I'm barely learning this stuff. And now I have to go back.
Yeah, so I remember being in college and like they have Mac computers there. But if you have like an HP, like even Excel is not the same. Like I remember like saving documents or even like Word documents and having to open them up like at the computer at school. And like it was a struggle. So I don't know how you're going to do it, amiga.
Well, I have faith in you. I be Googling like the commands and and like, I'm like, oh, how do I select the whole column? Like I can't be doing this.
Girl.
But yeah, I learned real quick. Let me tell you, as soon as I started doing like Excel stuff for them, I was like, okay, yeah, now I'm starting to get used to the commands, but I'm probably going to have to go back to a PC. I might as well do it like right away, but I really like how fast it is. And I'm just like, no, I think I'm going to like tough it out with the Mac. I don't know.
You're going to thrive at this new job. I know you are. I'm just can't wait to see all your accomplishments that you do here. Because let me tell you, they struggling. When Abby told me the first week, I'm like, girl, they needed you. Like they need you. They just don't know it yet. Like your worth at this place. Like I can't wait to see all the great stuff you do there. But
thank you for believing me, amiga.
Girl, always.
But can we talk about like how you felt insecure about like payroll, right? And now that, I'm not there, you have to like, you're forced to thrive, you're forced to figure it out. And I mean, that could be an insecurity, but can we talk about like maybe other insecurities that we have?
Oh my goodness. I think everybody struggles with their own insecurities, right? I know like, I think now that I'm older, I've done stuff that has helped me, cope with certain things. But growing up, kids were cruel. Like, I remember like I've always had like I'm taller. Like I wear a shoe size like 8.5, 9, which that's kind of like big compared to like the average woman, I think. Because you have a little.
But I'm short though. Like you guys know I'm short.
I mean, but I'm not that much shorter than you. I don't think I am.
You're taller than me.
Yeah. I don't think I'm that much
She's not shorter than me.
Yeah, and I remember like and being in middle school, amiga, and like having to go shop for shoes. I was like a size 8 already, right? And I remember, dude, I would try to squeeze into smaller shoes because
Would you really?
Yes. Like I would get like little calluses on my little pinky because I wanted to like fit in with like other girls. Like, cause everybody, like even my sisters, like.
But can you even tell that you're a different shoe size?
I don't know. It's all probably in my head. Like, I don't know. But yeah, like even now, like now I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like it's normal. But
yeah, like I don't think I can look at your foot and be like, oh no, girl, that's a size 9. I can tell.
Put a picture. You're size 11? No, but that was like one of my insecurities growing up.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
And even now, like growing, like I've always been like darker skin. Like, now I call it like exotic beauty, right? Because I'm like, girls pay a lot of money to have this skin color. But
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. And like growing up, like even like my skin color, because kids would make fun of me. Like kids were like cruel or like they.
I'm a girl. Where did you grow up where they would make fun of you?
I'm a Delano. I mean, like even my siblings. Like I remember growing. I'm like, forget my siblings.
But siblings are the worst.
Yeah, they are. They are, honestly. But yeah, like even my skin color at one point was like a big issue. And I remember my dad would help me. Like I didn't even know I was struggling with this until like I must have made a comment to him. And he's the one that actually told me, like, I want to say in Spanish because he would tell me in Spanish, but he would say like, like you're beautiful. Like people pay like money to have like your color of skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't even have to worry about that. But yeah, like even going into college, amiga, dude, like because I did ag, like I went to school for ag, right? Like ag business. And all the little güeritos be looking at you sideways because you're a different color than them. Yeah. So honestly, like I have worked through that and I've told myself, like sometimes, girl, I don't need nobody to hype me up. I hype myself up. I look at myself.
You need to.
Yeah, you do. You do. And I even tell my boyfriend, I'm like, I don't need you to hype me up. Like I got me. But it's took me so long because like even my dad telling me like, no, like you're beautiful. Like estás bonita, like how you are. I kind of had to start telling myself like, yeah, like my skin and my color, like I'm exotic. Like not everybody looks like me. Shoot. I'm just kidding. But
it's true.
Yeah, like I sometimes even now, like what I do is like I'll look at myself in the mirror and I like tell myself like, you look good. Like all like even like a full body mirror. I'm like, damn, like if somebody was telling me. But that's what works for me, right? Like yeah. I like give myself little affirmations. You do that.
Sometimes I'll be like, ooh, my hair looks cute today.
Yeah.
Or oh, my eyelashes are on point today. Like sometimes you have to do that.
You do because like we've always said, I think we've said it like once you believe it, like then other people are going to believe it as well, right? But yeah, that's just, I mean.
It's because it's confidence. It's all confidence, regardless of, how you feel about, what you're wearing or, how you are right now, whether it's like you feel insecure about certain things. But if you have that confidence, no one can tell.
Right.
No one can tell you're insecure about it. And you know what? They're just like, yeah, she is bad. Like they believe it too. Like,
right. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, like my biggest, I would say, insecurity growing up has always been like my smile. Because I had really crowded teeth. I don't know if you guys can hear, but I wear braces right now.
I'm like, we can't tell.
You can tell.
I think when I know what you pointed it out in other episodes, but because maybe I know that you have them, I don't pay attention to that stuff, right? But I know like
but
even
you met
now,
me before I got the braces.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So that has always been an insecurity. And I remember that like when I was 18, my mom finally made an appointment to go get me orthodontics, to go get braces. And we go and they're going to put them on me. And then they were like, well, she can't wear braces. Why? Because her gums are receding. Like they're really bad. Like her teeth are loose. And And like at 18, for you to have like gum recession is really weird. Like I didn't have bad hygiene.
I'm like, what causes that?
No, so we had to go see a specialist. They actually told us, you guys need to go see a periodontist. And so when my mom took me, I remember they looked at my gums and they were like, you have periodontal disease, and that it's really bad. Like it's severe. Like we only see this in like 70-year-old people.
What?
Like, and you're 18, you know? And I remember like being devastated because we're like, well, what do we have to do? You know? And so I find out it's hereditary. I actually got it from my mom.
Oh, interesting.
And so on top of having crowded teeth and a crooked smile, I had friggin' gum disease, you know? But then I started thinking like, I kind of had to change my perspective about it because at first I was just like, why? Like, why?
Was there anything that they could do though? Like,
yeah. So what they ended up doing was they have to do a deep cleaning. So they go and clean under your gums.
Oh, I've had that before.
Yeah. So they had to go clean under my gums. And my mom's like, you know, you're lucky because when I had to do a deep cleaning, I could only afford to do one half of my mouth because it's expensive.
Right.
You know, it's not covered by most insurances. So then, so then I got the deep cleaning, and then I remember like always dreading going to the dentist because they always talked about like my teeth and all that, and then my gums and everything. But so I could never get braces. And so like it wasn't until like I think moving to LA where I finally had like gum surgery, you know, and it was just to strengthen like the molars that were going to be needed to hold on my braces, you know.
I didn't know this, Amiga.
Yeah, so I had gum surgery, and man, it's like I don't know. They knock you out. I remember just like being out of it. And then I still couldn't get braces.
Why?
So
like because of the recovery?
On top of like cleanings that I have to do every year, I actually have to get 4 cleanings a year, not 2, right? Because it's usually every 6 months? No, I have to do it every 3 months. And I go see a periodontist, and then I also go see a dentist even now. And then I had to get another surgery because my bottom front teeth had the worst recession, like the worst. You could see the root of my teeth. So then I had to get another surgery. And I'm telling you, these surgeries are not cheap, like thousands and thousands of dollars, which is why it took so long for me to even get them, because I knew it was going to be a really high out of cost, you know. But Giovanni, my husband, has always been supportive. He's always known that my ultimate goal was to get braces, always. And so when I finally like finished with the surgery, and then I went to my periodontist and I was like, can I get braces? Like, I just want to know if I can get braces.
After everything that you had been through.
Like, imagine like getting all those surgeries and still not being able to get braces. You know what I mean? But she was like, no, you're going to benefit really well from braces. And I got the green light, and I was like, okay, Giovanni, I'm going to go to the ortho. And so she recommended me to this orthodontist who's actually kind of expensive, but she's like, if you're going to get braces, you want them done right. Otherwise, you're going to need braces later on in life. And I was like, okay, that's true. I'm not trying to wear braces twice. So, when I went, and they were like, yeah, we can put braces. It'll take 2 years. And I was like, 2 years? Are you sure? Like, are you sure it's not going to take like 10 years to fix my teeth? Like, I've always thought my teeth were that bad. You know what I mean? So, so then I had to have like teeth pulled out, and then I had like an impacted tooth and whatever. But so my smile has always been one of my biggest insecurities.
I would have never known that you went through all of that, Amiga.
Really? Yeah, a lot of people didn't know. And my family knew, and Giovanni knows. And I remember Giovanni being like, Abby, I don't care how much it costs. Like, just get the braces. This is going to change your life. And I know how much you wanted them forever. So shout out to him. He's always been #1 supporter of, you know, whatever it is I needed. And so I remember like we took pictures last year. Remember I told you? Did I tell you?
Yeah, you did. You did.
So we took pictures. And in one of the pictures I took with my daughter, and a lot of the pictures, I was actually smiling. Like, if you go back and look at all my pictures before braces, you'll not see my teeth unless it was a candid photo where I didn't realize I was smiling. You know? You will never see my teeth. It was just always a closed lip smile. And so like being able to smile in those pictures, and I remember showing it to like, because when you go get your ortho, you usually see the same assistant every time.
Okay.
And so I was like, yeah, like we took pictures, and I actually showed my teeth in the picture. She's like, really? And I was like, yeah, let me show you, you know? So I showed them to her, and she was like, have you always had those dimples too? And I'm like, girl, what?
What dimples?
Oh, braces ain't gonna don't give me dimples.
Amiga, that's really interesting you say that, because I'm not going to call any names, but I do, like, you can tell when somebody is insecure about their smile, because like you said, you don't smile with your teeth.
Yeah.
And like, even like I've seen people where they laugh and they cover their mouth, right? Because they're so insecure.
That was me.
Yeah. So what did you do even before you, I know now you have braces, but like, what were you doing during that time to kind of help with that insecurity, or were you doing anything at all?
I mean, I still laughed, and I never let it show that it bothered me, other than like not smiling in pictures or, you know, and all that. That's the only way you can really tell. Because if, like I said, if you know me, you know I'm always laughing. You know, I'm always smiling. You know, I'm a
I
friendly
think even
person.
before you got your braces, like you would laugh. Like I remember you would go in the office and we would sit there and laugh. Like
we'd be laughing all the time.
When we're supposed to be working. But yeah, like I don't think I ever saw. I wouldn't have known that you were insecure about your smile if you wouldn't have said it.
So, and I've told Giovanni, like, I'll sit there in the mirror and I'll just like smile and I'll look at my teeth and I'll be like, look, Giovanni, look, like, do you see the gaps closing? Like, I feel like a whole different person. And I'll even tell my mom, like, my teeth look so different. Like, they look so different. Like, even when I go, they have my my picture up. Yeah. And I'm like, who is that? Like, that is not even the same person.
I'm glad you were able to do something about it, because that's really important. Like, I'm sure that
Giovanni was like, oh, maybe I should get braces, you know? And I'm like, yeah. Like, your smile is life-changing.
Yeah.
It's something that's always with you. And like, even if it's the cost or whatever, there's FSA that you can use from your work to cover it. And then you sign up for FSA, like flexible spending account every year. And because the orthodontist is a monthly payment, you can use your FSA to pay it. So even if you don't have enough to cover the whole cost of the braces in 1 year,
you can go towards like your payment,
you can start again next year and you're still using more FSA, and it's pre-tax dollars. So guys,
there you go. Abby putting you on. I'm like, I'm about to do that because I also need braces, but you can't really, it's like crowding at the bottom. I can't tell with
you. Like, you're freaking, don't even
talk. No,
don't even. Like, she has a perfect smile.
I do not, guys. I do not. But yeah, I've been wanting braces too, but I'm like, it's like between like Invisalign and like the braces, right?
Yeah, I feel like you could do Invisalign.
Girl, I've seen my like people. I was gonna shout out my cousin, but you have to take it out every time you eat.
Yeah,
I think that's tedious, and I don't know if I would like to. I don't know. It's just the hygiene part of it that I'm like, where am I gonna put my Invisalign? I don't know. It's
my god, my nieces, because they got braces, like they had them before I did, and they got them together, and so like I could see a difference in them too.
Yeah,
and so right now they're wearing the retainers, and dude, they put them in a napkin. Like when they take them out, they put them in a little napkin, like a scrunched up napkin on a table. I can't even tell you how many times when we're clearing the table,
you almost leave them.
We've like thrown them out. Like they have to go look through the trash sometimes.
They're being too careless.
Yeah,
and Amiga, you know,
something about my brother gets mad. How come you guys aren't using your cases?
They're expensive, because I know people who've got braces, and it's just almost like good. Not that you had the choice to wait, right? But you getting them as like you're older, because
we're more responsible.
Yeah, you're more responsible, because I know people who like have got braces when they're like younger, and then because they didn't pay for them, they don't care. They don't wear their retainers.
Yeah,
and then then they need to get braces again. But now that you're older, of course you're more.
And you guys,
responsible.
you're never too old to get braces.
Girl, no. Like I know even growing up, people would be like brace face. Like that stuff does not. Don't let nobody bully you. First of all, but
first off, you're gonna be a whole new person in 2 years.
Yeah,
and think about it. 2 years in your life, like when you think about your whole life, it's really not that long.
It's nothing. Yeah.
Like I can't believe it's almost been 2 years in October.
Yeah, it went by super fast. Like we have another friend in common who maybe doesn't take his whole braces as serious as Abby does, because Abby's legit.
I remember meeting.
He's all eating gummies.
And he's like, oh, she's just good.
Yeah, I mean, we're like he's in his late 20s and he has braces. Like there's nothing wrong with getting your braces like at whatever age. Like Abby said, if it's an insecurity you have, it's okay. I think everybody struggles with insecurities, right? But I think what's important is to work on overcoming those insecurities. And it's not always easy. It's right. I mean, I think even myself, like I struggle every day with like, accepting myself, like even with body positivity. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like Abby said, as long as you're confident and you believe it, others will too. You know? I think life is too short for you to just kind of be focused and asphyxiated on those small things. Like I mean, it's easier said than done, right, amiga?
It is. It's almost like, doing keto, right? And you might think, oh, well, she did keto because she wanted to lose weight. But I don't think that was like the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to be healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what really like triggered it was like, Producer Gio, can I tell him like about your health thing or no?
We're being transparent.
Might as well.
So Giovanni, this was not planned, but I'll tell you guys this.
Yeah, like we're going off topic, but yeah. I'm like, no, but it's important.
He had kidney stones. He had kidney stones, and I didn't even know what was happening. I just remember like him calling me. I had taken the kids to my mom's house. He called me. He's like, Abby, you need to come pick me up and take me to the hospital. And I'm like, what? Like, he's never said that to me.
I remember this story after everything happened when you were able to laugh about it, but it was serious.
I'm probably still going to laugh about it. But it was no joke. And he goes, leave the kids at your mom's, please. You just need to take me to emergency. And that's when I started panicking.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, first off, this man never tells me to take him to the doctor. And so I go, Mom, Giovanni needs me to take him to Kaiser. Can you watch the kids? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to go pick him up.
Where was he?
He was at our house.
Oh, okay.
And I get there and he's in the bedroom and he is just in pain. Like, if you guys picture a woman giving birth, like, that's the pain he had.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was
Pobre Giovanni.
I got scared because I had never seen him like that, And he was just like, oh, I can't move. Like, he was bad, dude, bad. And I'm like, okay, well, can you walk to the car? I can help you. He's like, no, it's fine. I'll walk to the car. And then like, I'm driving and I'm like nervous because I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think we had recently watched a show where somebody's like, I think it was The Good Doctor, or I don't know which show it was.
Good Doctor.
But like somebody's, what had ruptured? I think their
appendix.
Yes. And he's like, I think my appendix ruptured. And I was just like, oh my God. Like,
yeah,
that's
you need
deadly.
to get fast.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, do you want me to go on the freeway? He's like, just go on the freeway, and and he's in the car and he can't even put on a seatbelt. Like, he can't sit still. He's just like, oh, like he's just like, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what's going on. And so I drop him off at the emergency and I go find a parking and I go back in there and then they have to weigh him. And then the guy looks at him and he's like, oh, you have that kidney stone face. I was like, what? I guess it's like they can recognize the pain.
I'll need to YouTube that because I need to see what face you had on, Giovanni.
It was like kidney stones, and yeah, they made him go to the bathroom, but he couldn't go to the bathroom. Like, it was just, so yeah, he was in emergency and I was there with him. They had to go do x-rays and scans. And yeah, I thought he was going to freaking break that bed because he could not sit still. And he's like, I need more drugs. Like, he kept asking them for more drugs. So I knew it was bad.
Yeah.
So after everything, they told him it was kidney stones. They gave him stuff to kind of like pass it through and everything.
I heard that's a painful process too.
Yeah. And like, he even like saved the little stone that it was. And I'm like,
no, you did not save the stone.
It was not even like, I'm not going to judge you, babe, but it was like tiny. It was like a speck of dust.
I can't. I'm not even going to ask how you saved the stone.
I don't know, maybe to like never forget. I don't know, but like,
yeah, because when you think stones, you think like this big old rock that you have like in your backyard.
Like a boulder's gonna come out of it. But I don't know, I got really scared and I knew like we had really gotten overweight. We've gotten like, just let go of our health and just ate out all the time. And they had told him like, you have a fatty liver and all this stuff, which I guess it didn't end up to be true, but like it scared me. I'm like,
yeah, that's like a huge reality check. If you're going to the hospital over, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And one day I was just thinking like, we need to get healthy. Like, I got to get healthy. I need to make sure Giovanni's healthy so that we're around for our kids.
Right, yeah.
And that was the trigger. And so, but like doing keto, I think my biggest, like, that became my insecurity, that was never an insecurity for me, was my hair.
Oh,
because then I told you it started falling out. Like, it's keto hair loss is a thing. And it just started pouring out like my hair. My hair's always been thick. It's always been long. It's always something that like I've always like been like, yeah, I'm Abby with the long hair. You know what I mean?
Becky with the good hair.
But it started falling out and I started seeing the bald spots and I just didn't even know what to do. I didn't know what it was. I was like, I don't know if I'm hitting that age where like now I'm losing my hair because I'm getting older. I don't know.
Girl, you're young.
No, and I really thought that, and I started freaking out, and but then like Giovanni ended up telling me that he was also losing hair, and so when I googled it, I'm like, oh, it's like keto hair loss because you drastically reduce your calories, you change your diet and everything, and that's obviously gonna affect your hair. And but yeah, like so now it started. I started getting nervous because I'm like, well, when is my hair gonna grow back? Like it's like thin, you know, and I went to go get it cut, and I even got like bangs, and that didn't help.
Oh, was that your bang face? I don't think you told me that. That was the reason why.
But I got it because I'm like, I don't know, I need to cover like the front of, I don't know, because like even now, like my hair is growing back, and you can see all these hairs that stand straight up.
Freak out. Oh my god.
Yeah. So all these hairs now, like my hair is growing back, and of course they're sticking straight up and everything, but you can still see like that the baldness in here. So I won't even wear my hair a certain way anymore because you can still see.
But it's growing back, you said,
yeah, it's
right?
growing back. So I mean, thank you God, it's growing back. But like that was something that I was never insecure about. And so when it started happening, I didn't even know what to do. Like,
you know what? Now that you mentioned the hair thing, one day Carlos and I were laying down, and Carlos likes to have cigarettes here and there, and then
he does.
Like he doesn't do it around me because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he doesn't do it around me because I know like I can smell it on him. Like even like if he drinks a lot, I can smell it on him, and I'm like, you did this. Like, I'm like, get away. Like, I don't like the smell. My dad was a smoker when we were really young. Eventually he quit, but I just don't like that smell. I'm like, I don't like it. So one day we were laying down, and he was like, his back was to me, like the back of his head. And I like just realized that the back of his head was like kind of like missing patches. Like it was like a little bald. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, I hope he doesn't listen to this because I scared him. And I was like, dude, you're going bald. And he's like, no, I'm not, Leti. Like, because he works with some like men who are a little bit older. He's like, I always like flaunt my hair, how it's like it's full. To the older men, I'm like,
por eso le pasó.
I'm a homie. You have nothing to flaunt right now because, so he's like, take a picture. So I took a picture of him, and I'm like, Carlos, like, he's like, no, he's like still trying to like, he's in denial.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, Leti, like, comb it down. It's because I was laying down. I'm like, dude, if I comb it down, like there's still patches of missing hair. And I was like, dude, like, you know what? I was telling him like one of our friends who he started like getting like on a healthier diet. His hair used to like be really thin. Like he had accepted that he was going bald. Like he was like, it's okay, I'm gonna go bald. Like it's fine, right? And his hair was really thin, like at the top. He went on a diet, and then one day, like, we were hanging out, and I'm like, hey, like, your hair looks a lot fuller. And he's like, it is, huh? He's like, I've noticed, but I haven't really said anything. He's like, but the only thing I've been doing different is, like, my diet. And I'm like, yeah. So then, like, I told him, I was like, hey, like, this person went on a diet. This was me tricking him so that we can start getting healthy, because I was like, babe, it's everything you're consuming is, like, affecting your hair loss.
Yeah.
And then, dude, I swear, like, it put it like the next day when he got up to go to work, like he sent like took pictures because he's still in denial. Like he's like, my hair is like, I'm losing my hair. So the next day he's like, comes home from work. He's like, I didn't even smoke a cigarette today, Leti. He's like, I need to get my hair back to where it was.
Oh my
like
God.
He's like legit. Like, I mean, people develop insecurities like any day, right? So that's even now, like he's still insecure. Like he went and cut his hair a little bit higher, like at the top. So but I'm
now
like
he's trying to hide. No,
yeah, but I'm like, no, babe, like we need to get healthy. Like it has, like, you know, like what you put in your body has a lot to do with like everything. Like it's like you are what you eat, right? You are what you eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said it right.
I was like, why did that sound weird?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say you eat what you are.
I'm like, you eat
what
what you are. I'm like, don't tell my niece that, because she's like, you eat pig, you're a pig. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
Her little vegetarian. Yeah, but that was my way of scaring him. But yeah, amiga, like sometimes you need like those things, like a reality check to kind of put things into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, like the other day I told him, I'm like, hey, you're kind of losing weight. And he's like, he'll suck in his stomach, and he's like, I am. I'm like, let it go. I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, like I mean, even me, like, I'm like, I need to get healthy, like, and how you said, it's not even like about the weight loss
or anything.
It's just to like, you know, like life is too precious to kind of, you know, cut it short based off like what you're consuming, right? So yeah, amiga.
And I feel like, you know, a lot of times I think when we're inspired to lose weight, it's probably like after going through a breakup or something.
Ooh, those
when you're back out on the market.
That's when you put the Demi Lovato song, like Sorry Not Sorry, or what is it? Yeah, Sorry Not Sorry. Dude, breakups are hard. I mean, we're both in like you're married and I'm like in a serious relationship, but my goodness, like if I look back at other breakups, like they're rough. Like, girl, they be real rough.
I think I only had like one big breakup before like Giovanni.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I've talked about that being my like first serious relationship before, you know, Giovanni swooped me up. But yeah, like I remember I think
he's like, I wasn't that serious if you're with me now.
Obviously, I didn't end up with him, but I think it was like I remember like that's when I probably lost the most weight. Like I was at my thinnest then, maybe I don't know, but I don't know. I think like so I had been with him for like 2 years or maybe more than that, and I know like we had broken up right before you know I went to college and. I don't know. I don't think I've ever like really talked about like why we broke up, and I knew why. You know, like like I said, I've always grown up in church, and I've always you know been you know like surrounded by that, and so at that time like I was really into church, and like he had gone to church like after he met me, like he went to church, and I think he even got baptized and everything, and but like he got a car. He got his new car, and he got that like when he went to college.
Okay.
So he was already in college and I was in high school still, right? In my last year of high school.
College boys.
So after he got his car, he wanted to start, you know, partying and drinking with, you know, his friends. And of course it's college.
Yeah.
Like, you know, your friends are always going to be like having parties, and that's what he wanted to do. Like he didn't want to be in church, you know, he wanted to party. And I was just like, that's not what I want, you know, that's not where I see myself. And that was like the main reason why we broke up, you know, because he just wanted to be out there with his friends, and he wanted me to be out there with his friends, and I didn't want to. Like, it just wasn't the environment that I wanted to be in. And then he'd always like question me, like, you know, why don't you come to the fair with me, or why this, why that? And I was just like, it's just not.
Yeah, you guys weren't aligned. Like,
yeah, I think we just grew separate at that point. We wanted different things. And so yeah, I mean, I think I ultimately made the decision. Like it was hard. Like it was hard making that decision. And I remember like breaking his heart. It's not easy.
You were the heartbreaker.
Yeah. And I it's sad. Yeah. But I mean, I think I realized, you know, in my next relationship what I wanted. And so Giovanni, you know, being in church and being a musician and having, you know, pastors as parents, it was like, you know, complete opposite of what I had. And I think like, thanks to my mom, who's a matchmaker.
We already know that your mom came through.
Yeah. And like, look, it just ended up being like the right choice. But what about you, amiga? Like,
I think it's hard. I like that you say that, that kind of showed you what you wanted, right? In the next person, because I know it's hard at the moment. Like, I'm the same way as you. Like, I've only had, besides Carlos, like another serious relationship. And it was very young. I met this person in high school and he was already in college. He had a car. Homie would drop me off at like high school, like in school, like he would drop me off. But it was toxic. Like I'm not really open with people about like that side of me, but honestly, that relationship really made me into the person I am now and how I am like in my relationship right now with Carlos, and why I'm so independent and why like I don't let men tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Because like with this person, like it was super toxic, amiga. Like it was verbally abusive. Like after we had been together for so long, like it got physically abusive.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I remember at the time, like I thought that was so normal. And I was like, I mean, the relationship carried over into like me being in college, But I remember like telling my friends before, like one of my friends asked me, and her and I are still really good friends. She's like, is he physical with you? And I remember lying. Oh my God, I'm so dumb now. Like looking like in hindsight, I'm like, I was so blinded. Like to me, that was normal. Like to me, being like verbally abused was normal. Like I thought that was, I mean, I didn't know any better, first of all.
Because it was like your first
relationship.
It
was like my first relationship ever. And I was like, this is how it's supposed to be. Like, you know, like it's okay to fight all the time. And it's okay for him to like go through your phone all the time. Like he was very controlling. And now in hindsight, I look and I'm like, okay, like he was obviously doing other stuff that like, you know, he wasn't being faithful. So he was concerned with like me, like he was like, was
he was shady. So he thought you were probably,
right. Yeah. And I remember like I was in college and I wouldn't even be friends with other people because he didn't even like let me. Like I lived at the dorms my first year, and I remember being so antisocial. And you know me, like I'm not antisocial
That's
anymore.
Not you.
That's not me. I was this whole like I don't even like looking back. I'm like, who? Girl, that relationship like really influenced like who I was. And I remember even my mom telling me at one point, she was like, "Te pega," and I'd be like, "No, like how dare you say that?" Like I don't know why I was so protective over that. I mean,
you always defended him.
Yeah, like I didn't know any better until. Like, we ended up breaking up eventually, of course, right? This isn't Carlos, so don't come for my man.
He's like the complete opposite. Yeah. I can't. If anything, you hit him.
I know. If anything, I hit Carlos. I'm just kidding. We do not.
We're kidding. We do not promote violence.
No, but yeah, eventually we ended up breaking up, right? Because I would see my friend and her boyfriend are still together. And I just remember how like free she was to be who she was, and he would accept her for that person because like I said, like he would really influence like who I was and how I acted around people. Girl, it was toxic. Like I know people now say like ay la tóxica. Nah, that was super toxic. And I remember like seeing my friend and her boyfriend and how just like a completely like different dynamic that they had together, right? And I was like, dude, this is not like, I finally realized, I was like, this is not how a relationship is supposed to be, right? So eventually, he ended up breaking up with me. Hella sad.
He broke up with you after everything he put you through.
Like, I know now, like, my self-esteem is a lot higher, but then, girl, it was like 0. But thankfully, honestly, like, I look back and I'm like, oh my God, thank God he broke my heart. At the time, it was hard. Like, so many times, like, I felt vulnerable to like message him or talk to him, or like at some point, like we even ended up meeting up, right? But thankfully I had people around me, like my friend, I don't want to say her name, but girlfriend, W, like she would like tell me, like remind me, because sometimes you forget like how bad it was, right? After even breakups, like she would tell me like, you miss him? Here, do you remember he did this to you? And I would be like, you're right. Like, I don't need that.
Yeah, because like when you miss them, you only think about the good stuff. You don't remember all the bad stuff that came with it.
And let me tell you, homegirl would remind me of the bad stuff. And I would be like, you're right, girlfriend. That's what I call her. I was like, you're right, girlfriend. Like that, he's not good for me, you know? But amiga, it was hard. Like it was, I think even after years, like I would still struggle with like, even being like, well, what is he up to? But no, dude, like after that, like you said, like then you know what one is not good for you, one that's not healthy. So after that, I was like, dude, like I can't be with somebody who is going to like forbid me for being like who I am, because now like I love to talk to people, like I love making new friends, like I will initiate a conversation with like any random, like somebody random, right? Because that's just who I am. So that relationship like really helped me like know what I want from like, even now with my relationship with Carlos, like I'm very independent still, even though we are together. And like I said, like I don't need him to like hype me up. Yes, it's nice when he compliments me and everything, but like I need to be that person for myself, right? Because like at that
I think it's amazing that you realized that, because
it was hard.
I mean, for a lot of people, girl or guy, it's a pattern. And then you're attracted to that same pattern in every relationship.
Amiga, like I know people say like, well, it's easy to leave. It's not. it's not, like, because that becomes your norm.
I don't think it is.
You know, like, and like you said, like, it's a pattern, and you kind of start, like, I don't want to say like that's what you're attracted to, but in a sense, yes. Like, and I mean, he was like very much like a dominant figure in my life, and now I don't let that happen. And I know some of my cousins like give my boyfriend like shit because he's a mandilon, but it works. Like, I don't need like somebody to be overpowering who I am, you know, like, and Carlos is very good about like just letting me be who I am. Like, he's like, ta loca. I just kidding.
But that's why I love her. No.
Yeah. He's like, I love her. She has like 5 different personalities. I'm just kidding.
I don't get bored.
Yeah, but no, like, I think what honestly helped me through that was like my family and like my friends. Like, the people who you surround yourself with is really important in like,
that's true,
helping you get through that stuff.
And like, and I've, you know, we listened to Crime Junkies in that episode where they're talking about, you know, domestic violence and how the guy ended up, you know, killing his wife or girlfriend. I can't remember. But she was saying how like, even if you've cut off your family for years, right? Because, you know, your abuser isolates you, right? Takes you away from who you love. And oftentimes, you know, they want you just for themselves. And I've never experienced this, so I'm just like relating to what they said. But they were saying that, you know, even after all that time, you may think like, well, they don't love me anymore. You know, how can my parents still love me if I cut them off? Or, you know, my family, you know, how can I go back to them after I haven't talked to them in years? They're like, no, we're just waiting for you to come back to us, you know? That's and I thought about that and I was just like, wow, that like, yeah, that would be me. Like if it were like somebody I knew as a friend or family or whoever, coworker that was going through that and they just cut me off for whatever reason. Like if they ever came back and was like, I'm so sorry because, you know, I was with this person and they forbid me from being with you or talking to you. Like I'd be like, girl, I was just waiting for you to reach out. Like, you know, and whether it didn't work, like if me trying to like reach out and be like, do you need me? Do you need help? Do you know, get out or whatever? And if you just like cut me off because of that, I'll wait for you to come back, you know? Yeah. And so just think that like, you know, regardless of what you're going through right now, and if you are that person that's in that kind of relationship and you haven't like, you feel like you don't have anyone to rely on, believe me, those people that were there before are still going to be there. Yeah. Especially if they're interested, like what's good for you. Right. Because I know, like, I think sometimes like I separate myself from like some of my friends, but I know even if I ever go back or whatever the case may be, like they're going to be there with open arms, right? Because sometimes you can't get through people like when they're in situations like that. Like all you can do is like at least try to tell them that you're there for them. But yeah, like you said, I think that's just really be there good. When they need you, and when they're ready, they'll let you know. Yeah, and don't say like, I told you so. Like that's the last thing that they want to hear, right? Yeah. Like they just need you to be there and be supportive and help as much as you can. Like how my friend did, like, oh my God, I can never thank her enough. Like if it wasn't for her, like I don't think I would be able to like have like it would have took me probably a lot longer to get over that situation. But like, yeah, like sometimes you honestly need somebody to be real with you, because she was that person to be real with me. She was like, honey. I'm like, no, if your friends don't keep it real with you, they ain't your friends. Yeah, that's true. But I like that you said that, amiga, because I mean, it's hard. It's hard. Like, you know, breakups are hard, but I mean, yeah, and I'll say, like, thankfully, I've never experienced that, and I didn't realize how prevalent, you know, abuse is, whether it's, you know, verbal or physical. Like, I had never been exposed to that, even growing up. My parents had an amazing marriage. Yeah, did they argue? Yeah, but there was never, like, yelling. It was never. And I remember, like, when I first got with Giovanni, he called me out on that. He's like, why do you yell? I know your parents don't yell, so where did you learn that from? And I was like, oh my God, like, you're right. Why do I do that? And I don't know, but yeah, he like had to call me out on that. And I just thought, like, you're right. You know, that's not something I would have learned from my parents, you know? And even if you learn that from your parents, like, it's okay to break that cycle. You got to break the cycle. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm like, you had good parents. I'm just kidding. My parents fought a lot. Like, my parents aren't together now. And honestly, it's for the best. Like, I think for everybody, it was for the best. But like, even now, like with my siblings, like we talk about like how they're raising their kids. And like, sometimes they'll say, well, my dad did that. And it's like, well, yeah, just because your parents did that doesn't mean that was
was the correct thing for them to do. Like, if you think otherwise and it's for the best of you, like, that just don't continue that cycle.
Yeah. And like, I know, like, my mom will talk about how growing up, her parents didn't show affection, And so when she got with my dad, she had to be, she saw like what affection was. And then she became that. Like, she learned to do that, because sometimes in families, they don't really show affection to you. And it's like, it's weird when it happens, But I mean, you can change. You don't have to be your parents.
Yeah.
I mean, take the good from your parents and instill that in your life. I know I do that, with my family, with my kids, with my marriage. But yeah, so I didn't realize how prevalent it was. I wasn't exposed to it. I know, like, I had a coworker that was going through that when I knew her. And, I didn't like suspect it too much. I kind of had an idea, but yeah, like you said, she would lie and defend him and say everything was good. And I mean, homegirl would show up with like freaking like stitches, and I'm just like, at what point do we report it? And I know we ended up having to report it because it was like, you represent the company, and if someone's going through that, like, they need, it's
if
like,
if
it could be domestic violence
themselves,
at your job. Like, they show you that, right? And but yeah, I remember, like, she finally ended it. She had the last straw and she ended it. And I mean, she found like an amazing guy. She just had a baby with him. And I don't know, it's just crazy.
Yeah, because
like,
sometimes you think that you don't deserve better, but you do. Like, you do deserve better. You always deserve better, I think, and
you deserve the best.
Yes. I think it's important to surround yourself with good people who are good examples, right? Because once I saw my friend and her husband, her boyfriend, I'm like, y'all should get married, by the way. I just kidding. But
I'll be the maid of honor.
I'll be right there. Until I saw them, I was like, wow, this is how it's supposed to be. Like, relationships aren't perfect. We can say that, but even verbal abuse, my goodness, like, it doesn't have to be physical. It could be people could be verbally abusing you and you think it's okay. Like I know sometimes, like, the B word can slip. Like, no, like, that's not okay to call your significant other the B word or any other, I guess, derogatory word. Like, that's not okay. Like, put a stop to it early. When, like, you don't let it slide, like, put a stop to it, and so it doesn't continue. And if it does, then just know that that's not okay.
No, it's not. And you want to make sure that you establish those standards in your relationship, and that they know, like, look, that might fly at your house, that might fly in your previous relationship, but it's not going to fly with me.
Yeah.
And so, and be, like, really believe in that and say, if that happens again, like, it's just not going to work with me.
Stand your ground.
And believe me, they know when you're serious.
Yep, they do.
So when you start setting that expectation for yourself and they see that and you have that expectation from them, it changes.
Yeah. Another thing is, like, the advice that you get, make sure it's good advice from people, right? Because, like, what works for somebody else might not work for your relationship. Like, I know, especially in my relationship with Carlos, sometimes people give him advice and I'm like, that's not good advice. Like, I'm like,
don't listen to them.
I'm like, don't listen to them. Yeah. So just kind of, it's okay to listen to people when they give you advice. Maybe you don't want to argue with them, but just try to be like a good judgment of character, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't just believe everything that people tell you, or whatever works in their relationship might not work for you.
That's true. And I mean, even like judging, right?
Oh,
don't judge people.
I mean, have a judgment. Let me get shout out to my family. I'm just kidding.
But I think judging in general, like, plastic surgery, like, speaking of insecurities, and, there's people that will have surgery to, fix it. Like, if I could afford it, I would have surgery to, like, make my arms thinner because
what do they say? You're not ugly, you're poor.
But it's just like, even if I ever choose to do that, like, that's my decision. You know what I mean? Like, I know, like, I've seen people get a lot of hate for, getting a nose job or getting lip fillers. And I'm like, look, if that makes somebody feel better, let them be.
One thing, it's their money, is another thing that I like to say, like, hey, it's not affecting me. If that's what say like, you know, if you're insecure about something and you have the means to fix it and it's a safe procedure, do it. Why not? Like Abby said, like with her smile, like, I mean, it's imagine like the impact on your entire life, right? So, I mean, don't judge people, you guys. Like, I know like we watch a lot of YouTubers and sometimes they don't want to be transparent with the work that they do, but sometimes it could be educational. Like, I find it educational sometimes. I'm like, if I ever want a BBL, I know like what questions to ask because this person, like, you know, this is what they went through. They didn't know any better, but it's educational for the people who are listening to them or viewing their content, right? But I mean, I don't have anything against people who like do like plastic surgery or want to alter something on them. Like, do it. Why not? Like if
and I think like it's kind of common in like our Latin culture and everything. Like people like look down on that and they will talk about you and
La tía chismosa.
But it's true, you know. But it's like, look, even if you get haters of whatever, if it makes you happy, do it.
Yeah, people honestly just need to be more accepting overall. Like even la tía chismosa, like if it doesn't involve you, let that person be happy.
I swear they always be chismeando, but it's really because it's probably something they wanted to do, can't afford it or whatever. So let me hate on this person that did it. Like a lot of times I notice that the hate comes from jealousy, you know, and it could be anything that they're jealous about, you know. But I've noticed that when I see people hating on somebody, I'm like, oh, you're jealous about
They're
that.
jealous. Yeah. And that's where it stems from, honestly. What else could it be? Like, you know, it's jealousy. It is definitely jealousy. But Abby and I are going to go get BBLs. We always joke about it too.
We're going to go to Mexico, Tijuana.
We're going to Tijuana and get some BBLs. If that's what makes you happy, hey, do it. Like I said, as long as you have the means and it's safe, like do your research, of course, right? But if it's going to be something that's going to get you over an insecurity, why not?
What's a BBL?
Oh, I'm like, what? Do we have sound issues? A Brazilian butt lift. Gio, come on.
Where have you been? No, I'm just kidding. But I swear, every Jenny 69 and her sister.
Dude, even the men.
Freaking Louis.
Yeah, I'm like, even the men, like Louis got a BBL. I'm like, it looks good. Like, he's happy. Why not? Like, sometimes, like Abby said, sometimes you wouldn't even know that person is insecure about something until, like, you know, they say something about it. Like, we can sit here and talk about our insecurities, like the whole episode. But sometimes, you know, just either don't pay too much attention to it or do something about it, you know?
And you know what? Don't like hate. Like, you know what I mean? I do see like on some YouTubers I watch that, you know, have gotten BBLs or whatever, and they have to confront like men that are just freaking like taking pictures of them or ogling or whatever. And then like another woman will comment like, well, I mean, that's what she wanted because that's why she did her butt, right? And it's just like, dude, they do it for themselves. Right. Like, it's not for men. It's not for anybody else. It's just for themselves. And so like for us to have that mentality, I think we need to be more uplifting as women.
We
like,
really
you know
do.
What I mean?
We do. And even if you don't say anything, like the stares, my goodness, like we were talking about how sometimes it's uncomfortable to go to the gas station when you're like dressed up because
semi-okay.
Yeah, because people just stare. Like I even tell, like I try to instill this with like my niece and my nephew, like, you know, don't stare. Like, even if somebody looks different than you, I always tell them, like, it's okay to look a quick glance, like fast. Like, if you're staring more than 1 second, it's too long. Like, just look away because people notice. Like, even you don't have to say anything, and people just
don't be my son.
Oh my God, you're
don't be my son.
Yeah, don't be Gabe.
Should I say that story?
I think you should share it. We need context.
Oh my. So when Gabriel was younger, we were in LA and I had to take him to the dentist. They were going to look at, I think he had like a, you know, cavity or whatever, you know, just like every 6 months
like
you
a
take
routine
your son.
checkup.
Yeah. And he was young. I want to say he was like in kindergarten or maybe first grade, but I had to take him to the dentist and we go. So we walk in. Don't laugh, amiga. It was dreadful.
Yeah. I wouldn't know what to do.
Signing him in. Like, I'm signing him in. I see that they're playing SpongeBob on the TV. So I'm just signing him in. And all of a sudden, Gabriel, like, he gets close to me and he's like, Mom, what is that? And I was like, what is what? Like, then I look at, like, the seating area and I see the TV, obviously, but then I see there's a little person there. And she was an older lady, but she's a little person. Yeah. And he'd never seen that before. So I kind of have an idea of who he's talking about, but, I want to play the Mensa.
You played it off.
And I was like, what are you talking about, Gabe? Like, are you talking about the that's SpongeBob on the TV? And he's like, no, Mom. What is that? And he said it loud enough for everybody to hear, just so you know. And then all of a sudden, I hear the lady, she was like, he's talking about me. He's wondering what I am. And I was just like, oh my God, like, what do I do? Like, I froze because I was like, what do I say? And then she, like, right away tells him, like, I'm a person. She didn't seem mad, but I'm like, dude, like, it's offensive.
Handled that really well.
And then he was like, she's like, I'm a person. And then Gabriel was like, oh, like a grandma? And I was like, okay.
He's just making it worse.
He's calling her old. Like, oh my God. And she goes, yes, I am. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. At least she's a grandma. And but yeah, no. And then, like, after him asking that, like, he didn't, like, say anything else. Like, he even, like, kind of sat near her. Like, it was fine. But, like, we got in the car and I was like, Gabriel, like, if you see somebody that doesn't look like you can't say stuff like that. Like, yeah. And then I just remember, like, regretting it. Like, why didn't he just only speak Spanish? Like, she wouldn't have understood.
I'm glad I'm sure she's probably dealt with that. Like,
and I remember telling my coworkers, and they were like, Abby, that was a teaching moment. You could have taught him there. And I was like, oh, really? Like, you want to judge my reaction to being caught off guard?
Yeah,
like,
you would.
What was I going to say?
You can't say how you're going to react.
No, I addressed it in private, but I mean, it's like, well, kids will be kids, but yeah, don't be Gabriel.
I'm like, yeah, don't stare, you guys. Don't point. I always tell Destiny too, like, Disneyland, they do like the two fingers because one is offensive in different cultures. And sometimes you're ignorant. Like, you don't know that stuff. I didn't know that stuff until, like, I don't know. I don't know how I found out.
Is that one of those Disney TikTok things?
Probably. No, it was before TikTok. Like, she's known for a while. Now she doesn't point. But, I mean, you can't prepare for every situation like that,
No,
but,
you cannot.
Just try to just don't stare. Watch what you say. People, yeah, amigas.
And kids will be kids. So if they talk about you, just know that it's a kid. What do they know? No.
If it's an adult, that's a whole different story. But amiga, like, what have you, I know, to, like, on a lighter note, I know you started your new job and I'm struggling without you. But on my time off, like, your time off, what have you been watching?
So I have been watching Netflix. Like, I stay watching Netflix, but we recently finished, I think the one that you're starting, the Cecil Hotel.
Oh yeah. What is it called?
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, I was watching it, and so we watched the video, like, when she was in the elevator and stuff, and Giovanni's like, "Oh my God, do you want to tell him what you said? Like, that you were one of those internet sleuths that were watching the video,
the web sleuths."
Yeah, I used to I remember when that video came out years ago. I watched it like 100 times. I watched it a lot too because they talked about how many millions of views it had.
Right.
And I was like, I was at least 100 of those. Cause, that girl, when those videos came out, she looked like super demented. Like,
yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah.
So this is what is it called? So you guys let's put them on. It's called Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, and this is a hotel in Los Angeles, in downtown,
right next to Skid Row.
Yeah, next to Skid Row. And honestly, it's a great show. It's like a 4-episode series right now.
Oh my God, I cringed.
And yeah, like, I was actually on my way here because one of our friends had told me about it on my way here to Abby's. I was listening to it because obviously I'm driving and can't hear. But oh my goodness, it's really good. Like, you guys need to watch it. I don't want to give, like, away too much stuff, but it's basically like a murder mystery.
Like us?
Yeah, it's a murder mystery. It is solved at the end because I know some people like don't like to watch murder mysteries if it's not solved. Like, I know in the beginning with Crime Junkie,
just drive me crazy.
Yeah, like that would, like, I'd be like, oh my God, but I want to know what happened. But this one, like, they do eventually solve what happened to the girl who is missing. But you guys, it's really good. It
is good. I mean, I think, like, Yeah, some of the people in that show, like the hotel manager and stuff, I'm like, she questionable, dude.
She is. I feel like the hotel paid her off. I don't know if the hotel is still there. Is it? Do you guys know?
Didn't it end saying like that they were gonna?
I'm like, no, I haven't finished it. I just kidding. No bloopers,
it's still there,
but it's still
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I know people like Giovanni was saying, like people were like your normal person were trying to investigate what had happened here. People even started staying at the hotel to see kind of like her last moments and re-envision and try to
reenact the whole thing.
What she had gone through.
I was just like, oh my God, imagine like you were staying there when Richard Ramirez was staying there.
That's another little twist.
Creepy,
yeah, so Richard Ramirez is from The Night Stalker because he was also staying at that hotel.
Yes,
that's
he was
crazy.
In LA. I can't.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, wait, what? Like, I didn't know that. But and
you could be in an elevator with him because they use the same elevators.
You wouldn't know, like the dynamic of that hotel. Like they explained it in the documentary. I don't know. I probably wouldn't have. As soon as I saw that, but I'm a scaredy cat. I wouldn't have stayed there. Like probably if it was like I had just got there, I probably wouldn't have stayed there.
I'm like, how did I never hear about this hotel? And we lived in LA for.
I'm like, should we go visit it? I kind of want to drive by it, but I'm too scared.
I know. Me too. I would be really especially scared. If it's next to Skid Row. Skid Row is no joke. Like
that's true. Never mind. We're never going. I'm like, our next trip to LA is not going to be the Cecil Hotel.
No, it's not.
But yeah, that was a really good episode. But oh my God, my sister, Carlos, we have been watching 1,000 Pound Sisters on TLC. Girl, we are avid fans. Like we quote. So if you guys don't know, this is about two sisters, Amy and Tammy, and their weight loss journey. So I think the show is called 1,000 Pound Sisters because like them together weigh like 1,000 pounds or close to it. But they are so funny. Like I said, it's like their weight loss journey, but just they're hilarious. Like they had originally started on YouTube. So they have like YouTube videos.
They do.
Yeah, they have YouTube videos where they do like their makeup.
We're going to end up on TLC. No, just kidding.
Abby&Leti on TLC. Tune in and stay tuned. But they're hilarious. Like Carlos and I, the other day, he was like, grow up. And I automatically got like offended. Like I was ready to fight, girl. I was like, what? And then there's a episode where they're fighting like the Amy and Tammy because one of them ends up like losing weight to get like the bariatric surgery. And the other one, Tammy, is still on like the weight loss journey, at least in the season 1, because there's 2 seasons, guys. They're hilarious. So they're sitting on the couch and she's the Amy, like the skinnier one, how does that tells her grow up, and she's like, you first. And then the other one's like, bitch, I've been grown. I pay my bills. My bills are paid. And then Tammy in frustration, she's like, and like you'll see TikToks, like if you follow them, they're like people reenacting it because it's like one of like the iconic episodes, like one of the iconic scenes. But they're hilarious. I mean, I know you haven't watched it, but you need to watch it.
I need to get on it.
It's freaking hilarious. Like even like the second season, like they're really funny. Just the stuff that they say. So when Carlos was like, grow up, I didn't catch it until he started like reenacting everything. I'm like, oh, okay. But it's funny.
She thought he was serious.
I was like, grow up, honey. Who are you talking to? I'm like, don't play with me. I'm just kidding.
So I don't know if I'm like late to this show on Netflix, but
¿Cuál es?
I can't watch TLC because I don't have AT&T TV yet. So Giovanni, your friend needs to hook it up at the end of this month.
I'm like, girl.
It's called Reign, right? REIGN, Reign, and it's about like this queen.
Okay.
Scottish queen.
Yeah, I think that has been on. I haven't watched it, but it has been on Netflix. I've seen it on there for a while,
and I was like, look, I maxed out on all my shows, so let me just watch this one. And there's like a million episodes. I want to say I'm on episode 17 already.
How many? Is there like several seasons?
I'm still on season 1. I'm like, how am I still on season 1? Like this show is never ending. It's like a soap opera.
Yeah. Ooh.
But there's like a lot of like, scandal and all that. Like every character in there is like conniving and always with the plan, because like she has to marry, since like a young age, she's engaged to the future king of France, right? And it's just to strengthen the alliance, because back in the day, like that's how alliances were made, by marriages and stuff. So it's like an interesting show. It's not Bridgerton.
I was gonna say that.
It's a little spicy, but it's not that spicy. But yeah, I don't know. I've been entertained with it. Like I'll watch it here and there. Like if I don't have anything else to do. But yeah, it's a good,
I'm gonna look into that, because when you started saying like how they were married, like it gives me like Bridgerton.
Love triangles. Don't even. I love triangles.
I'm gonna watch it if it's still on Netflix. Hopefully they don't take it off, but I'm gonna watch it for sure. But that's honestly, I mean, what else can you do during the pandemic? Just watch TV. Like I'd be like, I need a break from work, and I'll just go quickly watch like a little episode of something. Or I've been watching The Sinner too. It's like it's also like a murder mystery. It's like based around this detective. Like it's 3 seasons, but you don't need to watch the seasons in order. Okay. Yeah, every season is focused around like a different story. I didn't know this until like I started reading into like because when I watch a show, I like to read, like I like to Google the background of like everything, and I'm like, oh, okay. So you can watch it like separately, but it's basically based around like his name's Detective Ambrose, and him solving like these weird murders. So like one of them is like based around this girl named Cora, and she like randomly, like she's at the beach and she like attacks this guy. Oh, is this the one with
Jessica Biel?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, so hers, I've only watched hers, but hers is really good. And like she randomly attacks this guy on the beach and she kills him. And of course they put her away, and it's basically him investigating why she did that. And the story is crazy. Amiga, I'm not gonna ruin it for anybody, but like if you watch any, I've only could recommend Cora that season because it's so good. Like
I don't know the other ones.
Yeah, like I wasn't expecting like the twist in that. So like I don't know how many episodes it is, but like sometimes like that's the one I'll need a break from work or on my lunch. Like I'll like watch a little bit until I finally finished it, and I was like, oh my God, so many good episodes on it. So many good shows on Netflix.
There are. So they got you with the romance, the comedy.
Girl, I have a bunch of genres in there. Now I'm gonna watch Rain. Don't call me because I'm gonna be watching TV.
Yeah, I feel like I've been missing like stand up. Me and Giovanni, like that was always our thing. You know, when we got together, he always like showed me all these different stand up shows.
What was
and
that
I feel
show?
like I haven't seen stand up in a while.
Do they not have any?
Well, yeah, because Well, Tiffany Haddish just came out with a season of They Ready, and I watched the first one, which was pretty funny. You know, so I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch the second season.
Okay, I didn't realize how long it took for them to film like comedy specials like that. I was listening to like a podcast I listened to in the morning, and they were interviewing. I can't remember her name. I feel bad because I'm not really into comedy stuff like that. But yeah, like she was saying, like it takes like sometimes like a year or 2 years to film those like stand up
because they film them at different venues.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, it takes that long. Like, and I don't know. I appreciate them now. I'm going to watch them and like really appreciate like how much work it takes.
Like I remember sending you, I was like, girl, Felipe Esparza's going to be in Fresno.
He's hilarious. Did you still went, right?
We still went. Me and Giovanni still went.
You still went. We were supposed to double date. I can't remember what happened. Why we didn't go. We didn't get tickets in time or something. I don't know.
Something happened.
But he had a special on Netflix
and
too, right?
Where did we go in Visalia? Me and Giovanni went to
Halifax. We could have met him. No, but he's actually really funny. Like I said, I don't really watch a lot of like comedy specials like that, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I got sick in the hospital, when I had like, when I was after being in a coma and stuff. I remember Giovanni, like he would try to take my mind off of like the treatments that I had to get because they were hours long, and I couldn't, and I have to stay.
Do you want to talk about that?
And
my stomach's all grumbling. Mike, don't pick that up.
No, it's related to the. Okay. But I remember one time he came in and he had his little computer, and it was like just me and him, and I'm getting like I think it was dialysis at that time. And so he comes and he's like, oh, you know, let's watch the stand up. So he puts his little computer on him
to keep your mind off.
Yeah, of that. And so then we were watching it and it almost felt normal. Yeah. So I always feel like comedy's our thing. Like sick or healthy.
We're sick or healthy, you're laughing. Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna take your mind off of something that you were going through, like why not?
Yeah, that's why I don't know. I've just always enjoyed watching stand up with him. Because of that, it always reminds me of that.
Is that a good memory? Bad memory?
No, it's a good memory.
Oh, okay.
It's one of my few good memories of being in the hospital.
I was like, with Giovanni or where? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Giovanni.
Can we talk about the sleepy lady on TikTok? The sleepwalking lady?
Oh my God, she's hilarious. Do you know her name? I don't know her name.
I don't know. I don't know what her name is, but I swear she comes on my For You page all the time, and I'll watch any video because she's just funny.
She's funny. So it's this lady, or she's being filmed by her husband, like all the cameras in their home.
Well, she has cameras like set up all throughout her house.
Yeah. And she like sleepwalks. Like I've only seen one where I was dying is the one where she goes out in the snow and then there's like a person walking by like staring at her like what is wrong with her? And then she comes inside, makes herself a drink and her husband's like on the couch just watching her and she's hilarious. Somebody said that they were like staged, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, she forces it, right? Because she says I either eat cheese or chocolate before going to sleep, and that triggers her sleepwalking.
Oh, wow.
Because she's lactose intolerant.
Ooh.
And so, like, each video, like, she does do it on purpose, but I guess, like, it runs in her family because her brother does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she can trigger the sleepwalking.
She's like, for the views.
yeah, so she does. So they added cameras, and now, like, that's how they get, like, more, like, you know,
views and stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, now she has millions of followers now, but I mean, she's funny.
If any of her videos are as funny as like the one I seen where she like walks out in the snow, she's hilarious. We'll need to like find her name because, or if you haven't seen it, like you need to get on TikTok.
She was blowing up, and I guess she has like a makeup business, and I don't know what she drives a hearse.
Why?
You know a hearse? Like,
yeah, like where they,
she drives a hearse, and I'm like, girl, like,
you know what? I had a boss who her dad had one, and she inherited the hearse from him. And at that time, I was in college. Like, she was my boss. I was just an intern there. And her and like another woman like that worked right there in the office. Like, they would go to events in downtown Fresno. I can't remember what events. It's been so long. And they would drive the hearse to the event, park it. It was like a conversational starter, you know, like what are you doing driving that, right? But I mean, why not? I think I would pick you up and our other friends.
No.
Like, what's up? Bring the car seats. We're going downtown in the hearse.
That's crazy. No, because I guess like she even posted a video of like she was so excited because she bought a hearse online. And it was a Cadillac. And I mean, like, if you see the interior, I'm like, whoever is in that hearse, y'all getting, like, VIP treatment.
It's all Pimp My Ride.
And it's, like, all, like, they have, like, just emblems on the side. Like, it's fancy.
I need to Google this.
She's like, if it looks anything like the pictures, it's going to be, like, beautiful. So then she records, like, as the truck is bringing in the hearse. And this girl is, like, ecstatic. Like,
really?
And I'm just like, oh my God, why do I have creepy vibes? Like, I can't.
I mean, imagine how many.
And so then she like showing, she's like, it looks just amazing, like, right? And then she's showing you the inside, and I'm like, girl, I don't know how you getting a kick out of it.
It's like an exotic car for her.
It was like, I don't know, but yeah, that was, I don't know. I think it's creepy vibes to me. I can't.
I think maybe once people like that though, you know, like
yeah,
like we were saying how people go to the Cecil Hotel to kind of like experience that, like even though people think it's like
paranormal.
yeah. I mean, maybe she's into
Not
that.
me. I can't handle that. I'll be like, no.
I'd be too. Maybe if somebody was with me, like I probably wouldn't feel as scared. But I mean, maybe you wouldn't even feel that if like it's all like remodeled or how you say like there's emblems. I don't know.
No, it's fancy in there. Like if your loved one or whatever was in a casket inside there, like that car is nice. I mean, it's
what
a Cadillac.
is? Does she drive it? Like, what is the
yes,
purpose?
I guess she drives hearses. Like, I don't know if she works for like a funeral home or what, but yeah.
We'll need to look in. I'll need to look. I need
But
more.
I'm like,
I need more details.
She's interesting. She does makeup and she drives a funeral.
And she sleepwalks. We're putting her on. She's
But
about
I'm
to.
like, her husband's a real one. Like, he has to run after her in the snow sometimes.
Even
and
waking
I'm like,
up in the middle of the night just to make sure that she's like not hurting herself or something.
I think there was one where he was like trying to coax her out of the sleepwalking. So like he goes and he gives her like a stuffed turtle, or I don't know what it was. It was a stuffed animal to like try to get her out of it. And like she's sitting on the floor, and then all of a sudden she just like wrestles the thing, and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on?
Wow, that's love.
But I'm like, dude, yeah, I don't know. Giovanni, would you still love me if I sleepwalk like that?
I think he would. That's not a question. You don't need to ask him. I'll answer him. I'm just kidding for him.
I would give you chocolate and cheese to...
Giovanni's all capitalizing like how they are. He's like, we're putting you on YouTube and everywhere you can go viral, we're going to make merch for you.
It would be for Sanity sessions.
A Sanity session because she really is insane. I was just kidding.
This is like free therapy for us. We don't gotta pay a therapist. We just talk to each other.
But make sure I'm wearing clothes, Giovanni, and like her onesies.
Oh my God, yes.
Her little dragon onesie with the little
I don't know if I've seen that one. I don't think so.
It's hilarious. I'm like, girl.
Did she have clothes on the one where she went out to the snow?
Okay, so she recently like posted a video that they went to a hotel. She was at a hotel.
Okay.
And that she sleepwalked. Like, so the video starts, like the TikTok video starts, and she's laughing. Like, you know her, she's like laughing.
Yeah.
She just, I feel like I would be friends with her because she laughs all the time, but she's dying. And you can see the red carpet on the floor and there's doors. You can tell it's a hotel.
So she's recording as she's like sleepwalking?
She's recording on her phone and she's dying. And she's like, I'm in a hotel and I sleepwalked in the hotel. She's like, I'm not wearing any clothes.
Oh my
She's naked. And there's nothing on her, dude. Like, she doesn't show her naked body.
I'm like, that's on TikTok?
But she's like, I don't have a key, right? And she's dying.
Wow.
I'm like, girl, I don't know.
I wonder if like...
And she's like trying to see if the door's open, like, and she like jiggles and she's like, it's locked. Like, she's freaking dying.
I wonder like what the if she were like to be stopped by like a police officer, if there's like any repercussions.
There was people
because
commenting. She was like, I work in hotels. There's usually a linen room on each floor. If you go there stocked up with towels or whatever, like people are really trying to help her. I'm like,
pobrecita. I'm sure it's not the first time that's happened to her.
I'm like, imagine
living with that though. I don't know. I don't know if there's like something that they can do. Well, you said she triggers it, right? Obviously she knows what triggers it, but I don't know. That must be like daunting for like the husband.
The husband? I don't know. But I'm like, dude, put some child locks.
But I think she would be able to get through them because she's conscious.
She knows, because she knows to like
not
drink
conscious,
things.
But it's not like she's incapable.
Because she says she can vaguely remember sometimes like what she did.
Wow. Or what you've done your research on her.
I do. I stay. Oh my God. So after seeing the video, like I literally followed her page and Giovanni and I were sitting there watching like every video for like an hour.
Oh my gosh. Carlos a heavy sleeper. I was gonna say if anybody would be sleepwalking, it would be him. I was like, I'm gonna see how he's gonna react to like
give some cheese and chocolate. Just kidding.
Like how he would react to me sleepwalking, but no, he probably wouldn't even know. He's like, Leslie's not here. Oh, she must be at her mom's. Just kidding. Oh, she must have took Loki out for a walk.
I was gonna say the only one that would care would be Loki.
Yeah, my poor dog.
I'm
dead. Look at us putting on all these TikTokers. We're gonna triple her following because we mentioned them on Sanity session.
You're welcome.
With all our followers, all our loyal followers, listeners, the amigos and amigas.
Yes, but thank you, amigos and amigas, for being with us on this episode.
Thank you, guys. I feel like it's been forever,
but
thank you for being loyal and listening to Abby and I
every time, and always like reaching out and giving us great feedback and advice. We love it.
Yeah, keep it coming and let us know. I mean, if you guys want us to cover a certain topic, we can totally do that too.
That's true. We won't say names.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just kidding. Okay, bye, amigos. Bye, amigas.